Hello friends, welcome to another episode of the DIY channel with Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY and Elpida. Today is going to be a little different episode than our normal episodes because we're about to tackle a rather big project from ever since the biggest project since we took over this house. We took it over. It was an attack and we conquered the house. And this will be a pretty extensive remodel of our bathroom, right? So not only this area, but also we plan to remove this old, dated, ugly surround shower. Is that what it's called? Surround shower?
Yep.
And replace it with tile and put tile on the floors and things like that. But today we are going to focus on the foyer where Elpida is. Beep, 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 beep. And today's project, we're going to give you a general idea of how to remove an electrical fixture and replace it. This fixture is really 1970s contractor grade. A little mirror, no sconces, is that what they're called? Sconces?
Right.
And it doesn't really fit the plans we have for this bathroom. So stick around. We're going to show you tips and tricks. We're going to tell you what you need to know. And hopefully we're going to have a new light fixture by the end of the episode. So today we're going to take that old date light fixture we showed you and we're going to replace it with this beautiful second-hand fixture that we bought almost a year ago and we're finally coming around in fixing. So join us as we're going to start the transformation of our bathroom. So this is the fixture that we purchased. It is a very nice fixture. We sourced it from a second-hand store because we do not like to see things going into the dump, right? And be wasted. And this is in very good shape. All the wires is here. When you buy something like this, make sure that the wires are there and long enough for you to assemble them again. Because sometimes when people do this, they go and cut them right there. And that will not work for you, right? So we have checked this. This is perfect. The way it is going to work for us. And also, we have some sconces. We're not going to leave it like this, right?
We're not going to have more exposed bulbs like
No.
that one? Okay.
So we have bought 3 sconces. This is one of the 3. So we feel it's going to look really nice. So the first step in everything you do is prep. And in this specific instance, the prep involves removing all this so it's not in our way as we're working. And we're going to give you a tip. In order to organize, to know where everything goes and also not to make a mess, in our case, we're using what do you call it?
This is a lid from a plastic container tub.
Plastic tub that will allow us to put everything in there and heave it and have it all in the same place and organized. And if we have any spills, I mean, these are a lot of beauty products and there might be a little water. We're not going to damage anything, right? We're going to take them from here. We're going to put it there and we'll be done. We're going to spare you this fun activity. So we're going to get back as soon as this is empty. So here you see the empty space. And one of the things I want to point it out, one of our early projects in this house was this little shelf, which has been invaluable in keeping our limited space here organized and looking as good as it can look, right? This is a very simple project anyone can make, in a couple of hours really, and make it match any decor.
Link the card.
Okay, are you pointing at something?
I was saying where it's going to go.
It's going to be here.
Oh, okay, maybe it's here.
No,
depends on where you are in the frame.
It can only be there.
No, you can't move it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
But it's thanks to YouTube and where it wants things.
There.
So, and also if you remember, we make this frame for our mirror. So we enjoyed both those things, and we invite you to as you can see, you don't have to be very fancy to make something. This is a very, very simple construction, and we used simple brackets that we painted. Those are silver brackets that we painted to match a little more the decor. And this is just a 1x4, I believe. So this was a couple of dollars to make, not very expensive at all.
So this is working well. It's got everything that we had on top of the counter in one place. I can easily move it around if I need to. And we're not going to obviously leave it here because we have to sleep in the bed eventually. But this is a very good storage place for these things.
A temporary placement place. So the first thing we need to do is to remove the light fixture. And that can be a little bit challenging at times because we don't really know how it is attached. This is a very old light fixture and we do not see immediately any hardware. So Mrs. DIY will go up there and look closely and see if we can find how to remove it. Step 1.
So here's our, this has been here for quite a long time. It's quite dusty up here. And I'm really just going to look around and see if there's any, oh, There's a screw up here. And another one right there. Let's see if there's anything else. One on this, no, nothing on the side. How about underneath here? Oh, we have another one right there. Must be a fourth one. Do I see a fourth? Oh, there's a fourth one. So we have screws. Let's see what type of screw it is. Looks like we need Phillips, but it's a very small Phillips.
Okay, and in some fixtures, the fasteners might be in the front between the lights.
Like right here.
Right. In this specific fixture it isn't, but in a lot of modern fixtures, that's where the fasteners will be. So since we have screws in the other side of the fixture, we have to remove our little frame around the mirror. So if we recall correctly, it is friction connected there. So Mrs. DIY is removing it.
Mrs. DIY needs to take off the pictures first.
Okay, picture
At
friction.
least one.
All right, excellent. And this is removed. So now we're going to get some material and we're going to remove the fixture.
All right, so we have a screwdriver. Just gonna get this thing taken out here. One down. 3 to go. There it comes. Like I said, it's been up here a while, it's coated in dust.
And you're being very careful not to strip the screws with,
Right.
with the screwdriver.
Can you give me the light bulbs? Let's remove the light bulbs, please. Riveting cinematography here, guys.
Indeed, it is very shaky and all of that. Okay.
A little.
All right, with all 4 screws removed, we're going to see if that is all it takes to remove the fixture. It is probably painted on there.
Yep.
A couple of the screws were painted over the bottom ones, so it's entirely possible this is just sealed with the paint.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to
That's
get
what
a
it looks
little
like. A blade.
blade and then maybe even a flathead screwdriver to help us wedge between the wall and the fixture.
Okay, let us get some more tools and we'll be right back.
So we just want to show you how this is painted on. So you can see the gap over here, but then here there is no gap because they've painted it so closely, and it's all down the side like that, and then also underneath. And so that's what we're going to cut with the blade, and then again we might need another tool to help provide some leverage.
And that's why you should mask when you paint.
All right, so we have a blade. We're going to see if we can let loose this connection between the fixture and the wall by cutting through the paint that's here. Pretty good. Maybe just go down the side a little bit. And I'm holding the fixture because I don't really want this mirrored fixture to fall and break. I'm going to go down this side. Okay,
underneath.
well,
And underneath.
Seems like it's coming off the wall
yeah,
now.
it is.
Yeah, but you will peel all the paint if you don't cut underneath. I'm not sure you're going in, you'll be able to see it.
Okay, we'll work on this a little bit. Come back.
So we disconnected the neutrals, so the circuit cannot close. But now we need to test that there is no power on the black, which is the hot. If you don't know the electrical part, the neutral is white, the hot is black. And in this case, we have our power off. And Elpida is holding a non-contact tester to the wire. And I'm going to turn the switch on, and we should get power there.
There you go. Let's try again. There we go.
I finally have to do the right switch, guys.
Yeah, Okay.
No, leave it there. So as you can see, when we turn the switch off, we have no power there.
Mm-hmm.
We won't have power there if we don't have power there. It is not possible.
Okay.
And if we turn the switch back on, you're going to see we have power. So we're going to turn the power off. And now nowhere in this box try going around, but we shouldn't have power anywhere. Technically the bare wire, which is ground, should not have power, but if you feel like testing it, you can. But at any condition, even with the switch on, that should not have power.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that are not safe, don't feel safe around electricity, again, the white is the neutral, does not have power on it, and the black is the hot, which in this case is switch because it's a light fixture. So the switch controls if it has power or not, or it's supposed to. I mean, the reason we do this test in case there is incorrectly wired. The correct wiring is that you switch the black, which means you stop the flow of the black. But if you incorrectly wire the switch and you interrupt the white, it still will not work because the circuit will not close, but the black will be live. Does that make sense?
For those who might know a little bit more about.
Okay, what didn't make
electricity.
sense? A switch works by putting it in a cable, right?
Uh-huh.
When the switch is on, it connects the two parts of the cable.
Right.
When the switch is off, it does not. It doesn't allow connection.
Right.
The correct way for the switch is to switch the black. So you cut the black, you connect it to the switch. When the switch is off, the black cannot carry power. When the switch is on, the black carries power, right?
Okay.
That's how lights work. Now, if you do that on the white, the lights will still work, but the black will always be live, regardless of the position of the switch.
Okay.
Did that make more sense?
Yep.
All right. So the next step will be to disconnect the black and the ground. All right. You don't need to do anything right now with that. We have to remove it with another screwdriver.
I can actually use my fingers because they don't have it.
Then they didn't do it correctly.
That is not a surprise for those who were doing whatever they were doing with this house, is it? So because we need to attach all these together, I have taken...
So there are three neutral wires and 3 hot wires, and we're winding them all together so that it's easier to attach to the wires in the wall.
Now some people will do that with what's called a tail, which is a small piece of wire that you connect to that and then connect to the wall. It is not code, it's not required, it doesn't give any advantage, so we're not going to do that. Also, because our new fixture does not have a neutral connection, but it has a neutral wire, we're going to connect the neutral wire from the fixture to the neutral coming out of the box. So it will be grounded. I'm sorry, I said neutral, I meant ground wire.
Ground wire.
So the bare wire is the ground. The ground is always bare. If you are in Europe, your wire will not be bare, it will be green, and you will have 2 hot, a red and a black. But for the US, we have only 1 hot because we have a single phase power, not 2 phase. Okay? So we're going to use a Wago for the neutral, and I don't have the right Wagos for the rest of it, so we're going to use the twisting method with a...
So that one's attached.
And you can just put that inside the box.
Once the other part is attached.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought both were.
One at a time, one at a time. Okay, so now that's pretty secure.
Okay, and you have and the order of operations start with the ground first. So if something was to go wrong, you have an easy path of electricity to ground. Does it make sense? It's the safest way. Then attach all the whites together. And lastly, attach all the blacks together.
Okay. This can be a little bit challenging when you're doing multiple wires together.
It can.
So just a heads up on that. But the wire nut here is supposed to grab them all as you twist it.
And you need to give them a gentle tug, not very strong because they will come apart. They're not.
So is it okay that I have a little bit of this wire exposed, or do I need to redo that?
Technically not. Can you switch it anymore?
Yeah, hold on.
No, I mean if you twist it, it should go more in.
Well, it was kind of out, so I'm gonna fix it.
Now the back one is out a little. Okay.
And I think that's a good learning opportunity for anybody who doesn't know about wiring. Like, I'm not really confident about it, even though we've done some.
You don't want anything showing because that can generate a short.
Okay, so now that's pretty tight. You can not see any of the exposed wiring. Everything's got the sheath on it. You shouldn't be afraid to move the wires out of the way.
No, and
As
that's
long
the
as
thing.
you've confirmed that you don't have your power there, you're safe doing that. And again, I'm just doing the same thing with these. I'm going to redo that because that didn't do that very securely. And I will say the Wagos are much easier to work with if you've never worked with those before than these wire nuts. But
Especially when you remove it, like we know we're going to have to remove it for a fact.
Mhm.
Can you put just one bulb to make sure the connection works?
we're going to turn it here. Now the ground wire is
I don't think you're
touching.
screwing it. You're in a very big angle.
The ground wire is in the. It's kind of touching the outside of the fixture.
That's
Is that
fine.
okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
And our connection is successful.
Aha.
All right.
Yay.
So we'll remove the bulb again. And now the next step is to attach this to the wall.
Well, the next step is to cram all these wires in that
Right,
little hole.
yes. Now this can be difficult because you have to align the little holes.
Okay, give me a screw.
And I suggest while you play, align one, turn it a couple of times, and then align the other, and completely do it because it is a challenging thing. They're not long enough?
No. It doesn't clear the fixture. It doesn't even clear the fixture.
Okay, let's see if we can find longer screws.
Yay.
So we have run into all kinds of trouble in what is supposed to be a simple project, and in reality it should be a simple project, right? The DIY part, our wiring was fine, as you know, we saw you, it works and everything. But attaching it to the wall is a whole different story. They put the wrong fixture on the wall. Instead of a light fixture, it's actually a receptacle fixture.
Box. Mm-hmm.
And it is not, nothing is standard. Our fixture here is not standard, and it potentially came with an adapter that made it standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all the hardware we have.
And the
will-
reason why we don't have that adapter is because this was bought secondhand, so that wasn't included in the purchase.
Right, and the problem is that the two holes, I don't know if they're visible, that you use to attach the fixture to the wall cannot be adapted using a standard electrical adapter. So we're going to do a little bit of surgery. Stick around, this is going to be fun. So we need to perform a little bit of surgery.
Oh no.
Everything we have does not align properly, so we need to enlarge this hole a little bit, maybe about 1/8, to make things fit nicely together. So this is our next process.
And so to do that, we have fitted a specialized bit to the Dremel. What kind of bits are these?
Hole enlargement bits.
But it is the inaugural use because you got these like the Christmas before this past one, and I don't think they've ever been used, and so here we go.
So if they break, do you want to put some glasses on in case it breaks?
Probably glasses, safety
Case
wear.
it breaks.
Yeah, these bits, we don't know their quality actually, right? We've never used them.
Or alternatively, sparks flying, anything like that.
Sparks are fine.
Yeah.
I like sparks.
Did we know? You set yourself on fire.
So now we have to rewire the fixture because we have to remove it as you do to make the necessary adjustments so we can attach it to our wall. So we installed our fixture, and the last test and it is working, as you can see. So a couple of things that were very frustrating with this project, but definitely even without the finished wall behind it, this shows an immediate improvement in the bathroom, right?
So as we mentioned before, this fixture, the sconces, and even the little screws that go up to hold the sconce
adapters
to the fixture, those adapters, all of those were secondhand. We got them either at the Restore, we got the secondhand store. And so it cost me about $21, $22 with the little adapters. And easily this is up to $100 fixture that you would buy new in a store. And there's nothing wrong with it. It works clearly. The finish is still intact, and I think the sconces, although they're not original to the fixture, really add something nice to it.
And they go very well with it.
And
You wouldn't know they weren't original.
No one would know these were not original, right?
Right.
And one of the advantages of this and the adapters that we put is that when you get tired of this, you can easily change. You don't have to change the fixture again. So I think this brings us to the end of our episode. We do appreciate your support and visiting with us. From Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY, and Elpida, let's fix something together.